Hi everyone, it's Ashley. Thank you so much for clicking on my video today. So guys, I am so excited to be coming to you today with a Thanksgiving video. I was not exactly sure this video was going to happen at all. So let's go ahead and get started. I have a ton of things that I want to get done and we will talk about it. So just starting out here, I did go ahead and cut out all of my designs. I don't think I weeded any of them, but I did cut them all out because we do have quite a few things to get through tonight. I'm just gonna start by burnishing this down on the back, just so I can make sure that all of my pieces stay where I want them to stay. And as you can see, this is a Cricut removable vinyl. I actually didn't even really notice that I had this color. I've probably had it for at least a couple years, and like I said, I just never really noticed it. It's not something that I would typically kind of go for. Not because it's not pretty. Like, I love gold and I honestly think it's beautiful. I don't know, I never noticed it. So as I was kind of going through my materials and picking my colors and choices for some things that I wanted to get done for my home, I found this and it was one of the first things that I pulled. So then from there, I just kind of worked everything around this, which thankfully for me, I consider gold to be a neutral. So, you know, anything for me pretty much goes with gold, but I knew that I wanted to use this. And I think that this is going to be just the perfect color for what I'm going for. So this is going to be for a little door hanger. I'm not exactly sure if I will actually hang this on the door or if this will go on my entryway table. However, either way, I will be super excited to have this up. I think it is going to come out absolutely beautiful. And let me tell you, this color it's really good. You know, it's hard sometimes with golds because I feel like they're either perfect and they're like the perfect shade, or they're horrible. There's like not a lot of in between for me. So a gold is either the perfect, most beautiful shade of gold I've ever seen, or it's disgusting. Unfortunately, there's not much middle ground for me with gold. I'm not sure why, but this is a beautiful gold, and I am glad that I took a second look at what I had in my craft stash, and I was pleasantly surprised to find this. So I just cut this out. I only had it in a 12 by 12 sheet. And then I'll go ahead and bring in the blank. This is the blank that we will be using. I have another piece of this that I just cut on some green vinyl, so I need to weed that out as well. And this is also a Cricut removable. This is just a dark green color, really pretty. So I started the video by saying that I was excited and happy to be even getting you guys a Thanksgiving video because I don't know, I wasn't really inspired to create for Thanksgiving. I had kind of done a lot of fall and I was kind of ready to move on to Christmas. And I will tell you, I did move on to Christmas. I did a few Christmas crafts, and actually doing the Christmas crafts is what put me in the spirit to do Thanksgiving. Just bring in my blank here. So I'm gonna lay down my larger text piece first. I went ahead and cut down a piece of transfer tape, big enough for my first design here, which is also my largest design. So it's always a good idea to kind of start with your largest design, so that way you can use your transfer tape as you go with your other designs and kind of just cut it down to fit your smaller designs as you go. So just kind of folding back a little bit of that carrier sheet just to expose a little bit of my transfer tape. I'm gonna take this, let's move this out of the way just a little here. Give ourselves a little room. I'm just gonna take this and simply try to lay this down as straight as possible, but being gracious with myself here. And then I'm just gonna simply pull it out, bringing in my scraper tool. I did get a little bit of rippling here, so I'm just gonna be really careful and just kind of try to get that to straighten itself out without messing up my design. So just trying to get those ripples out, again, without ruining the integrity of my design too much. So that looks just about good. I'm going to go ahead and trim this away now, just so I can get this really close to my design, and that will help me when I go to place this, right? So I'm just gonna cut right around this. Just like that. And then I'll cut it like this, and then I'll save this just for any smaller projects I have. And then this little piece here, I will probably just toss. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this over, burnishing the back. So yes, my Christmas crafting kind of, I don't know if I wanna say backfired, but it kind of all worked out because, like I said, my Christmas video put me in the mood to craft for Thanksgiving. So I am grateful for that because I actually ended up creating a lot of things that I really like, and I think I really am gonna enjoy this color palette for my home. And one of the things that kind of happened that made me need to come in and craft is we were invited to our neighbors for Thanksgiving. So we will be making an appearance there. So I needed to obviously get them just a little Hostess gift. So I have that, and I came in to sit down and get that done for them. So while I was there, I figured I would get some things done for my home, and here we are. So I did get just a little bit of wrinkling and a couple of my letters here. So I'm just trying to go through and smooth those out just as much as I can. You know, I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm going to do my best and we will move on, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and bring my bling back in. All right, and then I am going to just try to get this as centered as I can on my blank. And since I already have my bow on mine, I have to be really careful with my placement. If you don't already have a bow, or if you're not worried about the hanger, this will be a lot easier because you don't have to necessarily line it up with something. As where I am trying to line it up with my bow, and I think that looks just about good. So I'll just kind of start from the center and then work my way out. And then I will come in with my scraper. All right, and then let's just burnish that down. Okay, and then using my weeding tool, I'll just grab it, and then we will just carefully remove our transfer tape, hopefully leaving our vinyl down on our blank. That looks great. Now I have like a wrinkle here that I will try to remedy. But like I said, if not, I will give myself lots of grace in this area because, you know, there's only so much I can control. Just bringing in that same piece of transfer tape, I'm just gonna lay it right over our little leaves here. Just like that. And then once again, I will just trim around my design. Now I did attach these in Design Space because I didn't want to have to worry about getting my placement exactly right. However, I did get some wasted vinyl in the middle. If it is a vinyl that you would prefer to save, or if wasting that vinyl bothers you, you can absolutely unattach them in Design Space, and then that'll just let them cut without them being spaced, and then you'll just have to line them up yourselves, okay? So that is definitely a personal decision. For me, in something like this, it's just easier for me to attach it. I am okay with losing that vinyl if it makes it just a little bit easier for me to get this to work out in my favor, right? So now just going in with my little leaves, they're gonna go just framing this grateful. So I'm just gonna try to get this as lined up as I can. And I think that looks great. So I'll just kind of start from the bottom and then work my way up and then down. And then just grabbing a corner once again, I will just pull, hopefully leaving that vinyl down on our blank. Okay guys, and here is our first little craft. What do you think? So I definitely will say that this vinyl, it is so pretty. However, it is very unforgiving. So it's very easy to see like where you have any ripples. It's very easy to see like the texture of the wood underneath it. So I would just say be careful of that if you decide to use a similar vinyl. For me personally, it is fine. I will not necessarily see that every time I look at this, but I am a little bummed. However, I think that it came out still so cute and I am so proud of it. Guys, I think this was a successful first project. So let's go ahead and move on and grab our next craft. Okay, so I made this over in the fall, and it's just a shadow box from Target. It was in their Bullseye Playground. I believe it was $5. So this just kind of slides in the back, and then you are able to put things inside of it. I found that you are able to put a piece of paper in there and then kind of use it as a decorative shadow box. So I'm just gonna go ahead and change it here for Thanksgiving. So I'm kind of trying to decide on what pattern paper I want to use. I think I'm gonna go with this one only because well, one, it's beautiful, but also because I think for the idea I have in mind, I need a lot of contrast. So knowing that I need a lot of contrast, I think that the darker, just kind of more quiet paper is going to work just a little better. And you guys can let me know if you think I made the right choice or if you would have went with the plaid. I don't know, as soon as I saw the plaid, I was just kind of loving it though, because it was giving me like nostalgia Thanksgiving, like throwback Thanksgiving of like Thanksgiving in the 90s. But I think this paper obviously is beautiful, but I also think that it will give me the contrast I'm looking for. So I'm just going to very carefully trim my designs apart here because I used a piece of scrap vinyl and I had to get those really close together for it to work. But no problem, I got it done, and let's get this weeded out. So for this, I just went into Design Space. I just picked a couple of fonts and typed out my sentiment. I thought that this would be so pretty, and I wanted to put this on a shirt, and I mean, I probably won't, just because, you know, the season's almost over and I don't necessarily really need a Thanksgiving shirt, although I do think that this sentiment is important year round. But although I wasn't exactly sure if I needed a shirt, I definitely thought that this could be the perfect sentiment for some decor for my home. So I'm just gonna be really careful because these are like the tiniest little thinnest sentiments ever. So I have to be extremely careful here. Okay, so there is absolutely no way I let you guys see how long that really took, because it took absolutely forever. If you think about doing this design, please pick a thicker, more substantial font, because oh my goodness, phew, I have had to deep breathe my way through this one for sure. But although I will not say it yet, I think that we may be on our way somewhere. So I'm just gonna finish up the middles of just our last few and try not to ruin it all now. That was a task and a half, but I got through it and it looks beautiful. I am so happy with it. As you can see, I just went into Design Space and just typed out thanks plus giving. And once again, I chose these super delicate fonts just because that is the look that I like. And I just think it is so pretty and so beautiful. But I will tell you, it is difficult to weed. So just keep that in mind if you decide to make this project for your own home. But I will say it comes out beautiful. So I'm just gonna grab a alcohol swab here. And then I'm just going to quickly just kind of clean the front of this shadow box. It is just a plastic little window here. I'm so sorry about the glare off my ring light. I know that is not the best to look at, but I don't know how to prevent it. So I do apologize. We'll just remove my carrier sheet here. And then bringing my shadow box back in, I'm just gonna make sure that that is in fact the top, and it is. Okay, so I think over here is the best place for me to show you guys. So I know it's not in the center of the frame, but the glare is the least. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Thank you, Lord. Okay, so I just sized this to fit on the front of my box here. And let's see, I can put it kind of down to the side. Oh my goodness, I am just, okay, I really need to make up my mind here. Okay, I definitely don't want it at the top. My initial idea was centered, so I'm gonna go with that. But if you guys saw my weeding, I needed to find this little dot to my eye. I went looking for it and I found it, and that was great. However, my other one got a little out of place there. Okay, so that's better. So like I was saying, my original idea was kind of to center it in the box itself. So I'm just gonna go with that. I think that looks the best. So that is what I'm gonna go with. I'm just gonna lay it down. I'm going to very, very gently just kind of burnish this down, not giving it a lot of pressure because this is just plastic. I don't wanna break it. And also, this is just the tiniest little bit of text here. I don't think it's gonna need a whole lot of pressure to lay down, but if there are any areas that wanna come up, and go slowly and lay them back down. Okay guys, and this is how it came out. So what do you think? So I definitely think that that was the correct decision to put the darker paper in it. And I think that this is just so cute. It is the reason for the season, and I think it is a great reminder. All right guys, so that is our second little project. Let's go ahead and move on. Okay, just bringing in my third and fourth blanks here. Now, I know I started to say I don't think I finished my story, but the reason that I needed to come into my craft room to begin with was we were invited to Thanksgiving with the neighbor. So we will be going there for a little while on Thanksgiving. And I obviously needed to make a hostess gift for when we go. So I needed to come in and get that done. And then I wanted to I knew I had a couple of things that I wanted to get done for Thanksgiving. So I was gonna get those done. And then of course I was like, well, I'll make a card while I'm there. I'll make a card to go with the hostess gifts. And you know, one thing turned into another. And I actually found a lot of things to do for Thanksgiving, and I'm actually really enjoying them. So, like I said, I'm really grateful that I took the time to kind of step back into the season we're in and enjoy it for just a little longer. So, knowing that I needed just a couple of gifts for the neighbor, I found this. Okay, so this is like one of their gift things from Hobby Lobby. I took off the other tag. Oh, of course this isn't the tag with the price on it. But I found this on sale. It was like marked down to $4.99. It was like a gift set. And what it is it's either like a cutting board or like a plate rest. And then it has like oven mitt, right? So when I saw this, it was marked down to $4.99, but then when I got to the register, I only ended up paying like $3 for it. So when I saw it, I thought, oh, that would be such a nice gift to just personalize for someone and be able to give that to them. It would make such a nice, fun gift. So I picked that up and I'm gonna use it for that. And then also recently in another video, I told you guys that I went to Walmart for the first time in a while. So I went to Walmart and they had this little 2-pack of the kitchen tea towel 2-piece set. It was $5 and it's just in this really pretty kind of off-white pattern here on top, and then it just has the leaves there, and it's giving me very much fall vibes, and it's a perfect match for the oven mitt that's on this platter from Hobby Lobby. So I decided that I would just go ahead and personalize the two of them for the hostess gifts when we go to the neighbors. Okay, so I'm just gonna bring in my heat press mat. And then I also have my Easy Press Mini here, and it is set to medium, which is the 2 wavy lines. I'm just going to set my tea towel here. I'm going to see the 2 lines that are already kind of set there for me. I'm going to bring in my Easy Press Mini, and I'm just going to kind of preheat my fabric here, just to get it nice and straight and also to remove any moisture. I will also bring in my lint roller and just give that a nice lint roll just to make sure we get a nice adhesion here. So for the tea towel set, I thought it would be cute just to put a little pumpkin and then put their initial. So just kind of being aware of where the little dots, let me bring this down so the glare's not so bad. There we go. Just being aware of where the dots behind the G are. Make sure that they're not placed somewhere where it makes it hard to read the monogram. So with that in mind, as best as I can, I'm gonna try to center this somewhere that looks nice with the placement. And I think that looks good there. So I'm just gonna bring in my Easy Press Mini, again, set to medium. And I'm just going to start to press this, constantly moving it. I'm probably gonna do it for about 25 to 30 seconds. I think that this is a great hack when you find little things like this, you know, either cheap or on clearance or on sale. Pick them up because it's so easy to just cut a piece of vinyl and personalize it to the person you'll be gifting it to. And let me tell you, personalized gifts are always a crowd pleaser. So I'm just gonna set this to the side for just a moment, bringing in this other one. Now for this one, I do not want to take it, I don't want to unwrap it, right? It's wrapped like this. I think it's really pretty, and I don't want to undo that to add the monogram. So I want to put it down in this corner here. So I just sized it so that I could just fit it right in the corner, which is where I wanted to put it. But I'm going to do it without taking it off of this board. Now I will say, just like with anything else, you know, please, you know, use your own discernment here. monitor what is in front of you. I don't think I'm gonna have any issue because you can use iron-on wood itself. And this is an oven mitt, so I don't expect that wood to get too incredibly hot. But even if it does get a little warm, I think it'll be just fine. So again, I'm just gonna come in medium heat for about 20 seconds, and then we will let that cool. Okay, so while the other one's cooling, let's bring back in our tea towel and let's see how this laid down. Oh, that laid down perfectly. Yeah, that looks really nice. I love it. It came out really cute. So let's go ahead and fold this back up. Bringing back in this one, it is just about cool. And oh, that laid down perfectly as well. And I think that is so pretty. So let's bring back in our kitchen towels here. Okay, so just like that, we now have my Hostess gifts done for Thanksgiving. And for under $10, I made them 3 personalized gifts. Everyone loves getting a personalized gift. I promise it is a crowd pleaser every time. So I think that these came out so cute. I absolutely love that they go perfectly together, but they're also very different. And I like that I use the same iron-on for both, so it really ties them together. And it'll just be nice because they have a nice little chopping block and then a matching oven mitt. And then with the kitchen towels, I just think they will love it. So that's done. Let's go ahead and let's grab their card just because I can wrap up their gift and be done. Okay, so I think I showed in another one of my fall videos, I found this 8-pack of card and envelope set at Walmart. These were super cute and I plan to use these for fall for all of the different cards that we will need for the season. So with that being said, I just went in and had my Cricut write and then cut out my little sentiment here. And then I just cut out that offset layer an additional 3 times. And I'm just gonna come in with my art glitter glue here and I'm going to begin gluing my little offsets together. And this is just gonna give us a lot of nice dimension. It's gonna make our card so nice and substantial. This is such a nice way to really elevate your card and really make it personalized to whatever occasion you're giving it for, with really not a lot of work. You know, it doesn't take long. And let me tell you, you can do it. I promise you, you can do it. And once again, you know, I will say it and say it and say it and say it. A personalized gift wins them every time. So just adding a little bit of that glue, and then I'm just going to line up my offset layers just as nicely as I can. But, you know, just doing the best I can to line up those layers. That glue does give you just a little bit of time there, so that is nice. So my idea was to kind of set it here on the front, and then obviously this one is gonna go on top because it has our little sentiment written on it. Okay, so that was my idea to kind of put it like that. So what I think I'm gonna do is turning this over, I'm gonna bring in just a little bit of double-sided tape. This is just double-sided tape from literally the Dollar Tree. It is great. I buy it all the time. I use it all the time. I have never had an issue with it. It works wonderfully. So I just literally rip that off with my fingers, and then I will bring in my weeding tool just to help me get the backs off of it. Just like so. And then I'm just gonna make sure that I know where the top is. I probably should have put this on first. That would have been really smart, Ashley, but you know, it is what it is. It's already done, so I will make the best of it. So I'm just gonna kind of try to get this as centered as I can on my card base. So that looks just about good. So I'll just press that down. And then I was thinking it might be a nice touch to then bring in a little bit of foam tape and then foam tape that final layer up to really give it a lot of height and a lot of dimension. So that is how I'm gonna run with this card. So just bringing in my weeding tool, I will just grab all of my little backs. And again, this is just foam tape from the Dollar Tree. And I am going to actually, let's put a little bit of glue on the back of my little foams here, because that will give me just a moment of grace when I lay this down to shift it just a minute. Because if I don't put that there, once you set this on that foam tape, let me tell you, it is down. So putting just a little bit of that glue on there will give you just a minute to be able to move it around. Okay, so I think that is just about good. So I definitely got it a little crooked, but I think that it just adds to the charm of it, right? I don't know, I like it. I think it's cute slanted like that. So this is how my little card came out. I love the dimension that you get, and honestly, this takes a couple minutes and I have a fully personalized card. I will then just write our sweet sentiment inside, and it comes with the matching envelope, which I think is super cute. And there we go. Okay, so I think that is our 5th craft done. Let's clean up a little and we'll move on. So moving on to my next craft, since I already have my glue out and I'm already kind of in the mode of paper crafting, let's go ahead and do our next craft that involves just a little bit more paper. So I just have a piece of 80-pound cardstock here. It is cut down to 5 by 5. Bringing in my sweet little sign here. This is from the Dollar Tree. Now I will tell you, this one does not open like a frame on the back. So I love the color of the frame on this one. However, I definitely prefer the white frames only because they are so easy to change out. So this one does take a little bit more work. So I just start at 5 by 5 and then I just kind of take my normal scissors and I will just begin trimming, and just honestly, it's just kind of trial and error until I get it to fit. So once I have it cut down good enough, I'm just gonna bring in that same double-sided tape from Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna simply put this on just a corners of my paper here. I do not need this to last forever. I do not need it to last half of forever, right? This is seasonal, and I actually would prefer to be able to reuse this frame. Okay, so just sliding that in, I'm just going to get that into my frame, just making sure that all of my wording is covered. That looks great. So my idea for this little frame is I have a little frame like this outside of my daughter's room, and I like to change it for the season, just so she can kind of know what is coming this month, right? So like I'll do Halloween and Thanksgiving and whatever. And it's just like a little seasonal sign I like to change out for her. And she gets excited when it kind of changes from one season to the next or one holiday to the next. So it has been something that she has enjoyed. So I'm happy for that because, you know, it just gives me another excuse to come in and sit down and really take the time to enjoy myself and do a little crafting, right? So my idea was just to cut out a little leaf here. So I cut it out 3 times on white 80-pound cardstock, and I am just taking that same craft glue and gluing this together. And then I cut out the top layer on this really pretty gold foiled cardstock that I had. And my idea was obviously for this to be the top layer. And just to have this really pretty little leaf. So I will just put that right on top of my other layers. I'm just gonna really push that down, make sure I get that glue right to the edges because I don't want my little leaf to peel up, or I don't want the leaves to kind of curl away from the paper underneath it. So just making sure that I really get that glue down to the edge. And once again, just bringing in my foam tape. My idea was, again, to prop this up just a little, just to give it just a little bit of dimension. So I'm just gonna put one long strip on there. I think that that will be absolutely enough. Bringing back in my little leaf here, my idea was to kind of put it going downward like so. And there we go. There is my little leaf. What do you guys think? I think it's so cute. I think it's so sweet. I absolutely love, like I said, the color of this frame to me is so pretty. I absolutely love it. So I wanted to use this for fall and I think into Christmas instead of the white frame. So I think that was absolutely the right choice. And honestly, cutting down the cardstock for the background is not too hard. It just takes a little patience and a little trial and error. So guys, that craft is done. Let's move on to our next one. Next blank, you guys saw me make this over for Halloween, and I wanted to bring it back to my channel for Thanksgiving. Now this design I know has lots of little pieces, so I'm just going to take a moment before I begin to weed just to burnish the back, encourage any of those pieces to stay where they are, and I am going to hold my breath and weed. So honestly, not that bad. The give plus thanks one was actually tougher to weed than this one. So, you know, don't judge things by the looks of them, right? A lot of the times it's the ones that I think are gonna go so easily that end up giving me the most trouble. And then like this one I thought might be a little tricky and it actually turned out to not be bad. So thank God for that. So this is just a sweet little saying. It says, "In all things, give thanks." And I think that this is a great reminder for not only Thanksgiving, but year round in our home. So I thought that this would be a nice sentiment to put on my little sign here. And I cut it in this kind of really soft gray color, which I like to do if it's something with a lot of text, just so it's not so kind of jarring and heavy, right? It kind of keeps that lightness to it, and still bringing in that same piece of transfer tape we used in the beginning. I will just lay this down. I have a little bit of my tail here that's not covered, so just being aware of that. I will burnish it front and back. And then I'm not going to start on that edge because that one is the edge where my transfer tape did not quite meet. So you guys, like I said, saw me make this over for Halloween. I did go ahead and repaint it. I painted all the sides. Let's set that down for a second. I painted all the sides and now it is just completely white. And I think that this is going to give us a nice contrast and it will be a great reminder. I just have it set to me for just a moment, just so I can get this placement nice, and then I will show you how it comes out. Okay, so this is how it looks. I think that this is so nice, and I actually was a little worried that this might come off a little too plain. So I did cut another little design to go on this. But I have to tell you, I think that this is absolutely perfect. I will not be adding anything to this. I love the way that it looks. I am so happy. Let's move on. Okay guys, this is my last craft, and I have to say thank you for sticking with me there. and a little bit of a bubble burster or a little surprise. But my last craft is actually not fall related per se. It is a little something that I wanted to make for my desk. So as I've kind of been using my desk more, I've noticed that I have some things on my desk, but I have this little turntable, and I thought that it might be nice to kind of set everything on the turntable, and then obviously I can turn it depending on what I need to use at the time. So I thought, well, maybe I could cut out a little one of my YouTube handle and put it on the side of this, and then maybe have this sitting on my desk. So I thought that I could throw this in at the end of this video so you guys could see it, and then we could kind of decide what we think together and just kind of play with the idea together. If you were only here for the fall crafts, thank you so much. We are done with those, but I hope that you stick around and help me with this last little craft of my own. This is like mommy's little treat at the end of a long day, right? I'll craft something for myself and something that is on my heart to be done. So I just went in and typed out my YouTube handle, and then I just curved it to the blank that I wanted to put it on. And I think that looks just about good. So I'm just going to gently rub that down with my fingers. And then I'll bring in my weeding tool and just really burnish that down. And then I will just begin to pull that up. And there we go. I think that's so cute. Then I have this little heart that has just kind of been hanging out with me, and I decided that I would put it in my videos until I lost it, and it has not been lost yet. So that is where it will stay. And I was thinking about maybe something like this. And then I just kind of put this like this and like this. So guys, what do you think? I don't know. I don't know if it'll be a little too distracting, but I'm glad that I was able to sneak in just a little something for mama right at the end there. All right, so let's bring back in our crafts and see what we got done today. I am so grateful that you decided to come along with me and watch me get everything done tonight. I really appreciate your support. I think that my absolute favorite for tonight would probably be this little shadow box here. I just absolutely am loving the contrast. I am absolutely loving the sentiment and the meaning behind it. Like I said, originally I wanted to put this on a t-shirt. I didn't think it was necessary. I didn't think I necessarily needed a t-shirt with this on it. But now that I see it, I definitely, absolutely will be making myself a sweatshirt with this on it. So guys, like I said, thank you so much for watching my video tonight. I appreciate every one of you, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.